savings alone is not going to help you build wealth. Now you've already started doing the right thing. You started putting money aside. And one big question that often comes is, where should I start investing from? Should I invest in real estate? Should I invest in ETFs? Okay, understanding that these are the top two investment where the multimillionaires and the billionaires put their money. Okay, and that is the reason why these two are the ones that we are putting our money into. So which of them should you invest in? It's a very common question I get every single day. Or which stock should I buy? How do I go into investing? Those are questions that I get every single time, and I just want us to address it. Okay, how do you start understanding that I'm an investor, I'm a serial investor. You're just meeting me. I'm a doctor of business and technology and a serial investor because I own and manage double-digit real estate portfolio, and on top of that, I also have other multiple investments which I teach about. Awesome. So welcome. If you're just meeting me, that's it. I help professionals build wealth through easy ways, okay, not complicated, but you just need to be ready to build wealth the right way. Lasting wealth is what we talk about. This is not get rich quick scheme. This is something that is lasting generational wealth, okay? That is what we're here to talk about. And tonight we're going to be talking about ETF or real estate. You probably would have heard this. Which one builds wealth faster? Is ETF, is real estate? Or you don't even know what our ETFs is all about. Or whenever they talk about or whenever we talk about what's it called? We talk about real estate. You don't even know what that means, right? You don't know what that means. So those are things that we're going to be talking about tonight. You will understand what real estate is, or what does it even mean. We will understand what ETF it means. Thank you all for sharing the live. Let's share so that we don't have to repeat this all over again. I want to go quickly tonight. 1 hour tops. That's what I want to do because we are going to be doing some other things later today. So ETF or real estate, I'll put in the comment section, which one do you think build wealth faster? Where you are sharing the live, while you are also tapping out the live, which one do you think? Okay, and we would get into it shortly. Because the thing about it is that one thing I always say is, if you had to choose, would you invest in stock market or in real estate? Okay, because whenever we talk about ETF, you are investing in the stock market, understanding the risk. Whenever we talk about real estate, it's either the building, okay, that's what it means by real estate. So if you like to you put in the comment, which one do you think would build wealth faster, real estate or ETF? And thank you all for sharing the live. Thank you all for subscribing on the YouTube side. Today we are talking about ETF or real estate, or you don't even know what that is. Two top places where the multi-millionaires and the billionaires, where did they put their money? They put their money in these two. Okay, the top two. They also have some other places where they put their money, like venture capital, startup, crypto, all the way. Realistic, welcome. So all of this is where they put their money, but the top two is what we're focusing on today: ETF and real estate. Because understand your salary will help you pay bills, right? But it is the asset, or where you put that money for asset, that is what is going to give you the freedom that you need. And that's what we talk about. That's what is called financial freedom right there. So how are you? Let me know where you're connecting from. And real estate or ETF, which one do you think, will build wealth faster? Or you don't even know what that is? Okay, so subscribe if you haven't, okay, because this is going to help you. This is not just about you. This is about generational wealth. This is about, you building wealth that even lasts beyond yourself. Okay, so that's what we're talking about. And you're just meeting me for the first time, welcome. I'm Dr. Lina. I'm Doctor of Business and Technology. And of course, I do help professional end the paycheck to paycheck cycle. If your goal is to end the hamster wheel, right? Step off the hamster wheel. That is your goal. You are in the right place. Not necessarily mean that you're quitting your job, but what you use your money for, building asset that creating generational wealth for yourself so that you can have financial freedom. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and follow if you haven't followed. So we go straight into it. So would you invest? And I think somebody already responded here. Mayalistic did say real estate, and you might be wondering, there's the YouTube on one side, there's the TikTok on the other side. Talk about productivity and efficiency. That's Dr. Lina. I typically would want to get as many people, teach them the same thing, and build wealth, help as many people build wealth as much as possible. Okay, so tonight is about ETF and real estate. That's what we are talking about. Two powerful tools that the multimillionaires and the billionaires use in building wealth. Okay, so the truth is, both of them can build wealth. Okay, multimillionaires use it. They both build wealth, but they build it differently. Okay, they do build it differently, and the difference is what we're going to be talking about. We'll be talking about the pros and the cons. Okay, we will talk about that tonight, and you'll see me review my notes from time to time. That is because I like to have structure. Okay, so subscribe if you haven't subscribed, follow if you haven't followed, and let us be tapping out the live on the TikTok side. Let's keep tapping out the live. Let's share, because sharing means touch my forehead, push it in the screen, and you will see your contacts. Share with them, because you should not be the only one. Don't be selfish to hear this, because this is about building wealth. Everybody, if you get money, if we create more millionaires, or we create more people with wealth, what happens is crime reduces, because where there's poverty, there is crime. That's what this is all about. It reduces poverty, it reduces crime. That's me giving up. So subscribe. I have 16 people here on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed, consider doing that, because there's so many free resources for you out there. Awesome. And everyone right here, welcome, welcome. So let's go straight into it. The truth is, both of them, like I said, they can build wealth, right? But they build it very differently. And this is where a lot of people get to make the mistake. Because if you choose one over the other, you'd realize that, you're putting money in one over the other, you realize that you are just going to be working and just not build the wealth. And you're saying, oh, I'm working hard, I'm investing, but it's looking so wrong. I am losing money and I'm not even doing this investing. Yes, that was me some years ago, where I lost over close to like 100,000 in the stock market. Okay. And my friend also lost 50,000 to Tesla options trading. I've said this over and over. Jefferson, welcome here. How are you doing? Yeah, how are you doing? Welcome, and thank you all for subscribing, sharing the live, and inviting others. I'm just, so that I don't have to repeat myself, that's saying, let's share. If you can power share, and Alexa, keep tapping out the live. Awesome. Justin Jefferson, welcome, and every other person here. Joins, Ali, Somer, welcome here. Awesome, welcome. Welcome. So great, awesome. So let's talk about it. Tonight we are breaking this down. Which one builds wealth faster? That's one. KJM, how are you? That's our community member that is retiring in 1 year. Build the wealth. Congratulations. I'm looking forward to your retirement. Okay, the pros of each and what I personally recommend first. Okay, that is what we're going to be talking about. Thank you so much for the likes. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the share. Awesome. So let us go straight into ETF. So if you are just wondering, what is even ETF? Or I don't even know, I'm a beginner investor. Trust me, you are not wrong. It's not like you don't know. You are smart. It's not like you were not taught in school. You were taught how to earn, but you were not taught how to build wealth. They're two different things. Earning means your skill set that you got. You're a doctor, you're a lawyer, you are making so much money, or you are making little money. That is your skill. You're trading your time for money. That is you getting a skill, right? But you were not taught in school, all of us. So great. Having said that, so what are ETF? ETF simply mean exchange traded funds, right? It simply means you think about stock. So let's start from the beginner. Stock simply means you investing in a particular company, taking ownership of a particular company. Let's assume that you are, you like Amazon, or you like Starbucks a lot, okay? You can say that, okay, I am going to be buying a unit, some of these companies, some of part of Starbucks. With my $100, I'm going to own Starbucks. I also like Amazon. I'm going to be buying some part of Amazon, but I also upgrade my iPhone every single year. You can say that I am going to be buying a piece of iPhone, Apple every single time that I upgrade my phone, something of that nature. So that is you. You can be with your $100, it can be with your $200. However, when it comes to ETF simply means treasure vault welcome. It simply means a basket of a bouquet of this, you have Amazon, like I said, you have Apple, you have Microsoft, you have Google, you have all these companies in one basket. So whenever you buy one, you are buying everything that sits inside that basket. That's what you are buying. That is exchange traded funds. So whenever you buy $100 worth of ETF, you are buying everything. Yeah, good evening, Treasure Vault. Yeah, you are buying everything. So think about it as S&P 500. I'm sure everybody knows S&P 500, but if you don't know, that is top 500 company in the United States, right? So you have all of the best of the best in the United States. And you're wondering, so why? You are spreading your risk. This is across multiple companies. You are, instead of buying one, the risk of one going down is it's very high. But if you have 500, it means that you are spreading your risk, you are diversifying your portfolio. That's what that is. Okay, so that is the beauty of ETF. Okay, and you're wondering, so why does the multi-millionaire build their, why do they put money in ETF? That is because of one thing: they're diversifying their portfolio, they are spreading their risk. They don't want a situation where you realize that, oh, you know what, I invest and I'm losing money. No, they don't want to lose their money. They have built wealth and they don't want to go down, because it's so difficult to stay on the top, right? And when you're on the top, you don't want to come down. So they do not want that risk that comes with it. Okay, of course there's always going to be risk in investing in the stock market, but they spread an edge against that risk. Okay, so that's the first thing. So today I'm going to, so what are the things, what are the pros of ETF over real estate? The pros of ETF is, one, it's easy to start. Okay, you can easily open your account right now. Open a Vanguard account, Fidelity, Schwab's. If you're in Canada, you can do I think it's Wealth Simple in Canada. If you are in the UK, Trading 212, or some other parts of Europe, Trading 212 is a platform, the brokerage firm that you can actually, or you can go on Google and check. If you're in Africa, you're in Nigeria, you're in Uganda, you're in Ghana, there are countries, UK, South Africa, there is Bamboo or whatever. Just check what are brokerage firms that you can they use in investing in your own country, and pick whichever one that you are comfortable with, right? And you can easily now say that, okay, now that I've opened, you can open that account tonight, okay, get it approved maybe in the morning, and tomorrow, as early as tomorrow, you can become an investor. You can start buying the ETFs. Just simple, keep it here simple. I always say keep it simple. So you're wondering, so which of the stocks should I buy? No, you don't. Why are you picking and choosing? Just buy as many. Top 500 company, S&P 500, okay, VOO, IVV, SPY. The difference between the three of them is because of the different brokerage companies that holds them. Like VOO is owned by Vanguard, owned and managed by Vanguard. The State Street that is owned by, SPY is owned by State Street, or managed by State Street. There's also IVV. These three, any of them that you put your money, or you can just even split your money amongst them. They all track S&P 500, and that is the easy way to build wealth. The rule of 72 says if you just put your money in an S&P 500, or you just put it there and just let compounding do the work, you realize that you double your money every 7 years. That is the rule of 72. It's not even me saying that. It's not me. It's the rule. Okay, so it's something that is proven and tested. You can double your money every single what's it called, 7 years. That's the rule of 72. So let us keep tapping out the life, and let's share the life. Let's share the life. Let's keep tapping. I know we are locked in. Let's keep tapping and let us keep sharing the life. And if you haven't subscribed and followed, consider doing that. So it's very, very easy to start. It's low barrier. You can just open it. The second thing is that, like I said, diversification, ETFs. Why ETFs over stock? Okay, you can spread your risk. So with your $100 or $100,000, you can buy. If you buy a VO, you are buying 500 companies in that, just single that amount. If it's your $1, you can actually buy like $1 worth of ETF or stock, right? Fractional shares. You can buy it, right? And you would get all of the 500 companies that is in there. Why is this also good? It's good because like an S&P 500 has returned averagely between 8 to 12% in the past 30 years. Average last year it returned 18%. So it means that if you put $100,000 there, what you would have gotten is at 10%, that is $18,000. If you had put 10,000, you would have gotten 1,800 versus your bank account that give you 0.01%. Moto, welcome back again. African Soup, welcome. Like unlike your what's it called? Your Bank of America, your normal banker gives you 0.01%. So the rule is, number one thing is that never even leave your money in a Bank of America, Chase, or Wells Fargo. Don't do that, because that is giving you 0.01%. It simply means, do Africans dislike Black Americans? I don't think so. And today we are not even talking about that. We're talking about ETFs and real estate, right? That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about, it's the diversity that makes us all beautiful. Okay, I just need to address that. The diversity, the differences amongst us is what makes us beautiful. So if you haven't subscribed, consider doing that. We don't see color, we don't see shape. All we see about here is numbers and money. Okay. And if you're wondering, we have the TikTok, YouTube community as well. Here is about money. That's one thing that brings the uniformity, enjoying life and the money that comes with it. That's what we're doing here. Not differences or colors or shapes or sizes or height. No. Awesome. So diversification is the other thing. Trying to put money together, right? Trying to put money together in one, spreading your risk across board. 500 stocks in one, with your $1, with your $100, with whatever. Okay, right? There so many people, like spreading your risk across board. That is how you diversify and spread your risk. What does this mean? It means that if one stock goes down, you still have 499 just putting your money in an S&P 500. If you buy the other place where I invest is QQQ. QQQ is simply a Nasdaq 100, right? That's the ticker symbol, Nasdaq 100. This is top 100 technology companies. So like the Nvidia, like the Microsoft, all of those technology companies in the United States. That is what you are investing in with Nasdaq 100. Okay. And why do I invest in that? I am a doctor of technology myself, doctor of business and technology, and I'm a vice president of technology. So I know the future is technology, the present is technology. And I also lecture, I'm a professor, and happy birthday. I'm also a professor teaching AI, cybersecurity, and deep learning. Okay, teaching college kids. So those are things. So that is how I know that technology is actually today and tomorrow. And we all know this, right? AI is taking everybody's job. Okay, so you already know it's the next biggest thing, it's the current biggest thing, it is everything. Okay, AA Cube, welcome back again. Doyen and every other person. If you haven't subscribed on YouTube, consider subscribing, because you are here to learn how to get your wealth and end the rat race if that's your desire, and build generational wealth. That's what we are talking about. Motto, thank you so much for the likes. And everyone, let's keep tapping out the light. So it is the diversification across board. Diversification. So with the S&P 500, if you add the QQQ to it right now, that makes it 600 company whenever you buy. Okay, that is 600 company. The other thing that you also do is passive income. It gives you passive income. What does this mean? You can buy it today, get your direct deposit, your ACH direct, whatever money, every paycheck, right? Tomorrow is a paycheck day, right? Or 31st is around the corner, right? What do? You ensure that you are putting some of that, you automate it so that every single time, just the same way you don't see your taxes, right? Even though you don't have money, but guess what? You still pay taxes. If you are still able to pay taxes, even though your money is small, right? you still, regardless if you earn $10, you earn minimum wage, you still pay taxes. So if you can pay taxes, there is no reason why you should not also pay yourself. So every single paycheck, right? You are still deducting certain amount, no matter how small, even if it's $5, deduct it, automate it, okay? And make sure that they are deducting it every single paycheck. It goes into that your brokerage account, right? Fidelity, Schwab's, or Vanguard, or Robinhood, that is another one. Or if you're in Canada, Wealth Simple. If you're in UK, Trading 212, or other parts of Europe, Trading 212. If you're in Africa, Bamboo, and Stanbic IBTC, Investment One. Think about all of that. So you do not have any excuse, any of those platforms, or just simply go on Google and check in brokerage firm and just open any of those accounts right there, and just start making sure that every single paycheck, a deduction is going into your account. When it goes into the brokerage account, I always advise that you should, if you can, do your Roth IRA. Roth IRA go gross tax free, but also have a brokerage account, because Roth and 401k is for your future. But if you open your current account, the normal brokerage account, you can put money in there right now and be able to take the money out penalty free. But with Roth and 401k, if you take money before 59 and a half, you know that you will get some penalty. Okay, so but that is for your future self, thanking yourself when you are old. Or I hope we know that Social Security might not be there when you are old. So you have to already have a backup plan. Your children might also be their own money. They are paying their own bills. They might not be your own retirement plan. So you want to have that. But at the same time, you want to also have the present as well. The present meaning that you are also making sure that you have the one for, maybe vacation, or you are just paying yourself. I call it pay yourself, because that's how you build wealth. That's how you can now say, okay, I've amassed wealth for myself, and now I can decide to say that, okay, I'm retired. I have a safety net. Okay. All right. So subscribe, and if you haven't followed, do that. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and we'll go to the next thing. So passive income, you can set it up one time, and that's it. You do it one time. You can do recurring, so you don't have to do it again and again. Just do it one time, set it and leave it, and it goes. And even in the brokerage account, set it up such that it is also buying your recurring investment. You are buying VOO, you are buying QQQ was the next one I talked about. S&P 500. QQQ is of course it's of course the Nasdaq 100, and then you can buy SCHD for cash flow and dividends. That's what that one does. Cash flow and dividends. That it means, what is dividend? Dividend simply means that you are doing profit sharing with the company. So aside the fact that you have this company, let's say like a Procter & Gamble, right, which have paid dividends for the past 100 years, you can they will, whenever they make profit over Tide and whatever, Always, and or feminine care, all those kind of products, whenever they make profit, they share a portion of it to you, which you can reinvest again. Okay, you can reinvest, and there's the ETF for it, another 100. So between these three in itself, with your $100, you can already invest in 700 companies. Okay, 700 companies with just three purchase, right? Three purchase. Or you can just simply say, okay, I'll just do S&P 500. With S&P 500, you double your money in 7 years with S&P 500. Okay, so and that is how wealth is built. And people would say that, oh, you know what, 7 years is a long time. But guess what? People are working 45 years. That's not a long time. Clocking in day by day, 40 hours every single day, and they are still complaining. They don't complain about that, but then when it comes to investing, they will say, oh, it takes a long time. So, well, doing other people's job, it doesn't take a long time. But when it comes to when it comes to their own, to gain their freedom, it becomes, oh, it's too long for me. Okay. So let us change that mindset. The other part of ETF that is so beautiful is it is liquid, is liquidity. I get that question. So can I get my money immediately? Yes, absolutely. It's just a click away. Just the same way it's a click for you to buy. You want to buy ETF, it just takes. I've tried to do this on the life on Fidelity, and I did it on Robinhood just to show, right? Just to show. It's just a click away, sell, and just put the exact amount that you want to sell, and that's it. Okay, can't survive on 40 hours anymore. You have to work 50. Okay, now of course with the war that is going on, right? Now that gas, I filled my tank the other day with $197 and some change. That is what filled my gas. It was 24 gallons, right? That is crazy. That is really, really crazy. So you are very right, Motto, for saying you can't even survive on 40 hours, but is that even life for 50 hours? Is that life? Because your mental health, your health wealth is being impacted. 40 hours is even more than enough. Now you want to add another 10 hours to it. Iboniti, welcome back here. So liquidity, you can easily get your money out where in seconds you can get your money out from ETF. That is how easy it is. Okay, it is very, 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 very easy. Okay, so like I said, the top 3 or 4 that I put my money in, the fourth one I don't put. One is the S&P 500, ticker symbol IVV, VOO, or an SPY. Okay, the second one is QQQ. All right, keep it simple. There's no complexity. Just keep it simple. A lot of time, the problem that people have is they find it. Oh, which one should I buy? It's so difficult to invest. Keep it simple. It's simplicity. And I think it's a thing of mindset. A lot of people always think that, things to make money is so difficult. I have to break my head on the wall, or there has to be blood, or the millionaires that is outside of this world. You'll be so surprised. Millionaires are not, because 95% of the millionaires are self-made. Elon Musk, what's it called? Jeff Bezos, all of them, none of them is a trust kid. So those are the richest, right? So if those people are not trusted, it means that you have an equal chance like every other one of them. Okay. So that's why never think that, okay, there's the generation or whatever that has to be there for you to build one. So if you haven't subscribed, consider doing that. If you haven't followed, consider doing that. And let's keep tapping out the live. If you can tap out the live to 1,000, and then I will go to the next thing. The next one is QQQ. Then we have SCHD, okay, that's the third one, and REIT, ETF for REIT. Let's keep tapping out the live before I go to the next thing. Let's keep tapping out the live. Let's keep tapping. Motto Treasure Vault user 929. I know I know we are all locked in, but let's tap out the live. And I know that my YouTube community, let us also share this with others. Let's share this with others. AAQ, thank you so much for tapping out the live. Let's keep tapping out the live. And if you haven't subscribed, now is your time to subscribe so we can go to real estate and talk about the pros. And, like I said, I want to keep it quick tonight. If you can also share means press the forehead on the screen. You'll see your contacts come down, and you would see, and you would share with all of them. You share with all of them. That's the way it works, right? That's how it works, so that they can all learn. Let's not be selfish. Let us be able to, let's share with as many people as possible. Let's share with as many people as possible. Awesome. And I'm trying to, awesome. And then we'll talk about real estate, just the same way we've just talked about ETF. Who has any question? And if you haven't subscribed on YouTube, now it's Money Talk with Dr. Lina. Subscribe, click on the subscribe button. We are building a $1 million league. That's what it's called. $1 million league. $1 million. We'll have $1 million academy. We're going to be teaching about real estate, how to invest, because these is the top 2 where the multi-millionaires are building, putting their money. So we want to, if you want to get to achieve the same results, what do? You make sure you do the same thing. That's why people have mentors. That's why people, Jesus keep me. Yes, absolutely. Amen. So the thing about it, you put money, you learn from the people that have succeeded, okay? People that have built wealth. The multi-millionaire, if you go on Google right now or ChatGPT, where does the multi-millionaire put their money you would see we're talking about this first two that they put their money, real estate and ETF or stocks, right? But we are going with stock because it helps you to diversify. It helps you to spread your risk. Okay, those are it is very, very easy for you to liquidate your fund if that is your goal, and it is very passive. You lock it, you do it one time, you are hands off. You might even decide not to even open your app again, right? You might decide not to do it for a long time, and that's the way it works. Okay, let's keep tapping out the live. Awesome. And I think we got to 1,000. Let's get to, if we can, let's keep tapping. Let's not stop, because tonight, if we can get to 10,000, that would be great. Let's keep tapping. I know that we are all locked in, but let's keep tapping. It just helps to get some more people to this live as well. Awesome. So S&P 500, long-term growth. Okay, that's a benefit of ETF, and of course, dollar cost average. You can always reduce how much. So let's assume that you buy high. Okay, you can always reduce how much you bought, because right now the market is down. Right, market is down. What can you do? You can keep buying. It reduces your average. Let's say you bought like a VO. Some weeks ago it was at 630, right? It was at 630. Today is at 598 or something. So you can actually buy and reduce your average that you have, okay? Because it helps you. That is what is called dollar cost averaging. And then what I also recommend is let it buy like a clockwork, like your 9 to 5, the same way you are clocking in every day. Every paycheck, also clocking your money into your stock, into your ETF. Keep buying ETF, no matter how small. Consistency is key. Discipline is key in the game of investing. That is the two things that are very, very, very key, very crucial. So having said that, ETFs are the easiest way for the beginners to start investing, because it's just easy. You don't even need to get so much. You can do it right now as we're talking. Right? Easy, very, very easy for a beginner investor. And it helps you to build your confidence, right? Because if you see that, let's assume you had put 10,000 last year, you would have gotten 1,800 or 2,000. Your money would have been almost $12,000 if just by just putting it in VOO or whatever, IVV or SPY, which is S&P 500, right? And that would have boosted your confidence to be able to say, you know what, I want to invest more. You would be able to lean forward to now put 50,000, right? If you have it, or even put more, because now you know that if you did 10,000 and you got 2,000, of course, you get the same result with more money. Awesome. Now, 2 is real estate. Okay, real estate. Now, real estate is in the wealth building journey. I call it the running wealth journey. I call it the wealth engine, and I call it the running race, right? Crawling is you just put it in your account, or you put it in an IA savings account, or you put, walking race is ETF. But with real estate, it is running race, because guess what? It pays you, it gives you 4 paychecks. That's what real estate gives you. 4 paychecks. Let's share the live. Tap my head. Let's share with the contact. Let's power share, because I don't want a situation where we go all the way and people come back and start asking questions. So otherwise, it's going to be pulling as many people, pulling us back. Like I said, I just want to make it very quick tonight. By 9:30, I am out of here at the latest, because I'm trying to build some trainings, and I'm working on that, because I'm doing free real estate training for everyone across all platforms something in April. So I'm building that right now. So that's why, so let's share. I don't want people to keep bringing us back. Awesome. And you might be wondering, if you're just meeting me for the first time, Dr. Lina. I'm a doctor of business and technology. I'm a serial investor with double-digit real estate portfolio. So it means that both real estate, both invest in ETFs, where the multimillionaire put their money, I am playing in that cycle. And that's on Belly Rice. Welcome here. And on top of that, I lecture, okay, AI cybersecurity. I have been in corporate America, so I understand what professionals go through every day for almost 2 decades, okay? Rose to the position, to the level of vice president of technology. So that's my day job. So if you're wondering, so I understand what it is to be an analyst to be a senior to all the way to the executive level. I have been there and I know what it is. So if I'm still telling you that you need to, you need to take some of your money and invest it, even with that level of whatever, right? I know what I'm saying, because it does not build wealth for you. It just pays bills. It's what you do with it. That is what is going to build wealth for you. Whatever you do, even if you're earning $500,000, and I'm not kidding, you are not building. If you're expensing, you're just taking the money and you're spending it on expenses. You're depreciating lifestyle. What country? I am in the United States. You're just using it on depreciating lifestyle liabilities. That's what you're putting your money on. Then you'd realize that you keep working to fund that depreciating lifestyle liability every single month and every single day till you are 65. And then what happens to you at that point? Then the lights, it would all of a sudden you remember that, okay, you just walked your 40 years of your life working and just paying bills. That's what you do. But what do you do different? What does the smart and the wealthy do? They take some of that money, use some of it for depreciating lifestyle liability, but they put some of the money towards appreciating cash flowing asset. Okay, like the ETFs that we are talking about, like the real estate that we are talking about. That is how you build wealth, because anything that requires your person, you as an individual, to be there to make money, right? Anytime it requires you, then it means that you are trading your time for money, and it is not scalable because it is just you. It's just one of you. You cannot recreate yourself. But how you can recreate yourself is getting your money, the money that you make here, take some of it and use it towards appreciating assets. What does this mean? It means that you are making your money become little version of your minions. It now start working for you, even in your sleep, when you are sleeping, when you are awake, anything, even when you are still working, your money is working for you. That is what asset does for you. So think about it. You earn 100,000, you put 50,000 towards an ETF, even if it's just S&P 500, 500, you put it for 2 years, let's say in 2 years, you put $100,000. That $100,000 becomes, in 7 years, by the rule of 72. I did not create rule of 72. Go check it yourself. Rule of 72 says your money doubles every 7 years, right? So it means that in 7 years, that your 100,000 becomes how much? 200,000. In 14 years, it becomes 400,000. In 21 years, it becomes 800. It becomes how much? 100,000 times 200, 400, it becomes 800. And in 28 years, it becomes 1.6 million. And you are wondering, where does the millionaire come from? You and I. Somebody just put in 100,000 in an S&P 500. That is 10,000 a month, or 10,000 every single year. If you are doing it for 10 years, that is how much in a month, right? Think about it. This is like less than $27 that people spend on a daily basis. Basically, that's it. If you're in the United States, but you can do the same thing in your own home country. So if you're not in the United States, you're in other countries, you can use the same formula. Investing is the same thing across board. So having said that, so now the real estate part, the other beautiful part of it. Number one, real estate pays you. The first way it pays you is cash flow. What does cash flow mean? It means that you got a property, okay, using the bank's money to buy that property. And then how do you pay the bank back? You are using the tenant's money to pay the bank. The difference between the two. So let's assume that you bought a 200,000 property using the rule of the 1% rule. The rent should be like $2,000, right? That's it. $2,000 is what the rent would be. So that $2,000, your mortgage, it should maybe around your PMI, property mortgage insurance, right? And yeah, if you have that, everything all together, maybe around 1,500. The difference between 2,000 that you got from the tenant and how much you pay the bank, that is $500. That $500 right there is your cash flow. That is cash flow. That is free money for yourself. Not exactly the total, it's not free money, right? Because remember, you put down payment. So that is also a return on your investment, which is how much you put towards the down payment. So that is cash flow. The second thing that real estate pays you is equity. Remember, every single time that you are using the tenant to pay the bank, 1500. That 1500 reduces how much you owe the bank. It reduces it. Okay, so that's the second way. And you might be wondering, yeah, it reduces it, but the money is locked in there until I sell it. No, if you want to take the money, you can do a cash out refinance, you can do home equity line of credit, you can do all these different other strategies that you can use to take out money from that particular property. So that's the second thing. The third thing where real estate pays you, right? Now, I said 4 paychecks, right? It's appreciation. The third one is appreciation. Okay. What is appreciation? Appreciation simply means that you are it simply means that you are in you the property doubles its value every 10 years, just like the rule of 72 with ETFs, right? Or stocks. With real estate, it doubles every 10 years. But you need to make sure you are buying right, okay? You're buying right. The property we bought in 2017 already doubled its value, even though it's not yet 10 years. So I can tell you that I have tested it, I have trusted it. Okay. So that is that right there. And what does this mean? If you buy the same 200,000 property, it simply means by the 10 year, by year 10, your money, you can easily take 100% of your money in that particular property, and that property is still standing and it's still your own, basically because it has doubled the value, on top of the fact that you would have reduced your mortgage or your loan in that particular property, which is an additional equity for you, right? So that is the other part of real estate. And the last one, which the multimillionaires and the billionaires never want anybody to know, is the tax benefit. So if you have your W-2, you can very welcome. If you have your W-2, you can easily claim it against your taxable amount. You can use it to you can use real estate to reduce your taxable amount on your W-2, so your income, your regular income. And this is applicable. You need to just check if you're in any country, you're in Canada, in the UK, in Europe. These are some things that are applicable in those places. You also need to just check with your tax consultant, how does this work? Things like depreciation, you can use it to reduce your taxable amount. Things like the interest that you are paying, reduce it. Insurance, reduce it. All of the expenses on that property, you help you to reduce how much you need to pay IRS back or the tax authorities back, because it shows that so I always say that real estate will simply help you. You can easily build wealth with real estate because it's just that 4 paycheck. You can, in one deal, in one particular property can pay you like 3, 4, 5 times over and over again. Okay, over and over again. So that is real estate right there. So, and any question on this first step before I move on? Real estate creates income and long-term wealth. So understand that real estate, that's the difference. Real estate creates long-term wealth. Okay. You want to build generational wealth, that's real estate. ETFs are easiest way for beginners. So those are the difference. It's very easy to start with ETF, but when it comes to real estate, it helps to create income. Okay. Remember, the property is still there, but every single month, somebody on the first, I always smile to the bank, right? Because Zelle is always coming in on the first of every month, not later than the third. Right? If the payment is not received by the third, you get your notice to pay or vacate on the 7th. You're already getting your eviction already filed, right? So those are like things that when it comes to real estate, it is just income. It's just like your paycheck. You get your paycheck, normal paycheck from your employer on the 31st. But real estate, you get your own paycheck on the 1st of every beautiful month, right? It's always a beautiful season, right? So that's it right there. That's it right now. So that's the difference. So really, in terms of the difference, ETF is very passive. It's long-term growth, okay, because it keeps growing, and it's very less hands-on. It doesn't be. Let's keep tapping out the light. Let's tap it out. Can we get to 5,000? Can we get to 5,000? If we can all keep tapping. And if you're wondering on YouTube, that's because we have the TikTok community treasure vault user. Yeah, if you can keep tapping out the light, that would just be amazing. Let's keep tapping out the light. That would be great. It doesn't cost you anything. It just costs you your finger muscles. Okay, let's keep tapping. That would be great. Okay, awesome. Let's keep tapping. Let's keep tapping. And thank you all for sharing the live. If you haven't subscribed, consider doing that. Treasure Vault, thank you for joining. Thank you all. AAQ, thank you for tapping out the live. Treasure Vault, thank you. Let's keep tapping out. If you can get it to 10,000, that would be great. As you're listening, I know we are all locked in. Let us just keep tapping all the way. Let's tap all the way. Okay. And as I am talking, okay, great. So the difference is ETF are passive, long-term growth, and of course, less add-ons. Real estate is active. It's active passive. That's what I will call it, because let not anyone deceive you that, oh, real estate is, it's passive. No, it's not totally passive. Okay, because you would get somebody in there, you would have turnover, you would have if something happens, you would have people to you have situations where you have to call contractor, or you can get a property manager if you want it to be totally passive. Even at that, the property manager will reach out to you from time to time. Okay, so I always say, if you want to start real estate first, be hands-on. Don't even use a property manager. Do not. Okay, with your 9 to 5, with 9 to 5, I am still managing double-digit real estate. Okay, and I'm still lecturing, so it doesn't require so much. Okay, it doesn't require so much. You're having inspection. I have inspection here on Saturday for 4 properties, split it over 2 weekends, and that's it, done. And that's still 3 months again till I see them, or 6 months if they've been there for so many years, right? See them again. That's it. What does that do? It helps them to be on their toes, to know that, okay, this person is going to come and look at this house, so I cannot hoard, I cannot mess up the house, I cannot change the color. I need to know what is going on. Understand, is a major investment compared to any rent that any tenant is going to give you. So that's why you cannot say, oh, it's passive, and that's part of the mistake. And this is, by the way, if you are going to, I'm going to be doing a free training, like I said, for free real estate training. I'm going to be doing it. I think now it's going to be in April, because I'm setting it up right now, which is part of the reason I'm going to be wrapping up this live shortly. It's going to be off the platform. It's going to be on Zoom, and it's because I want to bring everybody from all the 3 platforms. I want to bring them together in one room, and we are going to be learning. By the time you are done, your brain should be ready. You should be ready to definitely start investing or buy your first rental property. That is my goal. I paid so much for it when I started real estate years ago, but I'm doing it for free. Okay, this one time I might not do the training again, or if I have to do it again, people are going to pay for it, for my time for it. So, but this time it's going to be free. So if you haven't subscribed, consider doing that. If you haven't followed, consider doing that, because it's going to help you to start your real estate journey, right? Okay, so AA Cube said, do you do long-term rentals or short-term rental? Which one is better? Actually, I've done both worlds. Right now, I am long-term. The last short-term rentals that we are shutting it down, because reason for me is because I think short-term rental is becoming, it's getting slower, right? In my market, I'm in Texas, it's getting slower, right? Compared to years ago, because of course people don't have so much money to go on vacation anymore. So that's part of it. So, and for me, it's becoming too much heavy, because remember I said I own double-digit real estate, which I manage, right? So having to handle individual guests and all of that is like getting too much. So that's why. But either ways, I think for me it depends. If you are in a market, you're in Texas also, or Houston. Yeah, it depends on the part of Houston. The suburb as well, right? If you're in that, do your AD&A. If your research says that, okay, you will get your money back and all of that quickly, then do Airbnb or short-term rental, Vibro, any of those, booking.com or across board. You can do everything across board, but make sure you do your research well before you venture into it, because I think it's slowing down. But they also said that in Texas there is the World Cup or whatever that is coming, and it's going to boost it and whatever. I don't know, but That's what I say. But we are more like long term right now. Although we do have some tenants that are using it for things like group home, they are using it for I've had to rent houses out for short term rentals as well. So it means that in this case, I am not the operator. I rent it out for the person for 1 year, and the person is using it for short term rentals. Okay, so I've had situations like that. So, but either ways, I do long term, but you just need to do your research well. It's good money. Yes, you're going to get double, even triple of long term. Okay, double of triple. If you are putting it the right places, you get double, triple. Yeah. But you just need to be right places. For me, I've gotten to the point of consistency rather than how do I put it, consistency over extra more income, if you understand what I mean. Because I want something that is steady every single month versus, okay, I have during summer is really high, then I have a month that is off, and even though at the end of the day it still pays more, but I'm not ready for that anymore. So real estate is active. One is active passive, right? Active passive is what I would say there. But guess what? It also, the other thing about it is generate cash flow. ETF definitely would, except for like an SCHG that would generate cash flow for you, right? Because you are getting dividends. Every other one is more of growth. When you sell it, that's it. You're not getting, you're not really getting anything on a monthly basis, which is what real estate gives you, right? Real estate gives you monthly rent. You can decide to leave. You can buy 5 properties. Each of them, if it's totally paid off, let's say 200,000, that's a million, right? Right there. So if you buy 5 of it, that is your $10,000 every single month. $200,000 from each tenant. 5 of it, that is $10,000. That's your 6-figure salary, right? Right there, right there. That's how you replace your income. And guess what? Your 1 million or whatever you use to start your property, that property still remains. That's the beauty of real estate. It's not like you're selling and it's appreciating, not even just sitting down. Still enjoying what you're enjoying with ETF, it is still growing. Okay, and on top of that, you get tax benefit. You can't get that with ETF. Tax benefit. Okay, that is things that you get when it comes to real estate. The other thing is that you can scale income faster because you can use the bank's money. You are using other people's money to fund it. So with 250,000, down payment, you can actually control $1 million, right? You can have a leverage of 1 million. What does this mean? So let's assume that you bought for one property, 200,000, you require 20% down payment, right? All that you need to bring out of pocket is the 40,000 plus the closing cost. That's where the 50,000 came through, right? That is 50,000 right there. Now, if you do it 5 times, using the example, that is five times. That is 250,000. But guess what? In terms of asset, how much do you have? You have 1 million right there. Okay, learning so much from this. Like, thank you. Oh, absolutely. If you haven't subscribed, and I try to give this as much as possible, and I think very soon I will start monetizing it because I think people value it more when they pay for something. So that will be coming very soon. I'm thinking of putting it in a training because and start, people have it as masterclass, and yeah. So I'm glad that you're still able to catch it for nothing right now, and you are finding it very, very valuable. Awesome. Yeah, you're definitely going to learn a lot because it's not something I learned it in the book, as a doctor of business, but with hands-on experience as well, having, managing double-digit real estate portfolio. That is a lot. It's a lot. Okay. So really, stock would grow your money. Okay, real estate would replace your income. That's the difference. Real estate can easily replace your income. You buy 5 properties, right? Paid off, okay, and guess what? What happens? That 5 properties, if you paid off, that's $2,000 every single month. That's your 6-figure salary right there, and you can say that. You call it a day if you want freedom at that point. Or you can say that, you know what, I am working because I want to work, not because I have to work. You know that feeling? The feeling is, you know what, I am just working because I want to work. So it doesn't bother you. Even if your boss, you get to the office and your boss looks at you anyhow, you just look at the person that, okay, it's all right. That's fine. And then you have financial peace. That's the other thing. You have financial peace, knowing that, you know what, even if, AI takes every other person's job, or if this company decides to fold, you know that you are good. That's the more reason why you need to put some money aside every single month towards appreciating asset, and do not allow lifestyle creep. Do not be pressured by people buying Mercedes and buying MS bag and all those Lobotini shoes. Use your own. Let your Lobotini shoes be in that property. Let it be in, that property, instead of you buying it, using it to buy the car. Once you've now bought those houses, then you can start using the money to buy Lobotini shoes. That's how it's done. But a lot of time, people put the cart before the horse. Okay, they want to look rich instead of them being actually rich, because they too, you just want to appear wealthy. But why not just become wealthy? Okay. And I always say it's about mindset. So you always see, is that I start my classes or my teaching with mindset, what is it, mindset shift. Okay, I always say, because if you cannot perceive a million and you think that millionaires are from another world, then you cannot achieve it, because here is $1 million league. That's what it is. So we have $1 million academy, would have wealth building academy, because you are building generational. It's not a one time. Okay. So we'll talk about how you can use this for your children's education, how you can even hand it over to your children. So we'll talk about protection, trust, insurance. Those are things that, because here I build it on 4 pillars of wealth. 4 pillars is not all that you need. You follow that 4 pillars, you will build wealth. Okay. And if you're also going to be, if you're a part of the money league, $1 million league, right? If you're a part of that, I tell you, 10 years is what it takes, right? But it just has 3 requirements. 10 years is what it takes. That 10 years, if you follow it by the letter, you will get 1 million, is what I promised, 2036 by March. It's going to be April, because we have not started this. But I tell you, if you have not gotten there, then hold me accountable. I have been there, and I'm just sharing whatever. I'm not going to tell you what I've not done, right? That's why I have those 3 requirements. First, right? You have to be very coachable. You have to be ready. We are not going to be playing. Making money is not play. You're going to be reading books. We're going to be not just books. We're going to have some other requirements, 3 basic requirements that you need to follow. These are books. Some of the books, of course, if it has to work the while. If you want to do things that people do not even achieve in 10 years, the things that people do not achieve in 10 years, in 45 years of their career, you want to achieve it in 10 years, that is a major feat. And you can say that after that, you say that I do not want to work anymore, or I want to work, or whatever you want to do, you know that you have already built something for yourself and your generations to come, right? This is an opportunity for you. You want to be a self-made millionaire. This is really an opportunity for you. I'm putting numbers around that, right? And I have a name against it, right? I'm a doctor of business, so there's an integrity around it. So if I've not done it, I cannot tell you what I've not done. Okay. And that's part of the reason why we're going to have that. We're having that requirement. I'm going to when that community start, I would let everyone know, and look out for my free training as well on real estate. If you haven't followed right now, consider doing that, because that's where I would announce it. If you haven't gone to my YouTube channel or subscribe, you want to do that. It's Money Talk with Dr. Lina. Money Talk with Dr. Lina. The doctor is DR. And for those that are wondering, I am not doctor of medicine, and I'm not an alias of doctor. I am actually an actual doctor, have a doctorate degree in business and technology, information systems, right? Technology systems. So that's it. And that's why you might see some level of seriousness and structure when it comes to me, okay? So subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's Money Talk with Dr. Lina. Reason why I say YouTube channel is because on the Instagram and on the and TikTok, you realize that it's more of short form videos, but on YouTube, we have the long form, 6 minutes, 10 minutes, where I will talk about details of all of this, what is ARV, how you can buy your property in 4 months, and I'll show you, so you can actually go there and subscribe. I don't want anybody to miss out on anything. So see it right there. You see how to buy your real estate. in 4 months, right? In 90 days, actually, 90 days, right? You can get it done. And of course, the ETFs I talk about, SCHG, QQQ, so S&P 500, why each of them, all of that is what I have recorded there. And you can sit down, instead of watching Netflix, watching what's that thing? Love is Blind and Love Island. Take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and invest in yourself. Education is knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. What do your thoughts on Section 8? Yes, I really do not do Section 8 because most of the time, when people do not pay for something, right? People tend not to value it. Okay, that's my own ideas when it comes to it. But if you can manage it, right? I typically would say that I only have one property that doesn't have HOA. So where I typically just play within the BC neighborhood. The best the list of the house that I have is in the CD neighborhood. Here means that these are top rated, the top rated community. BC is where you have the white collar and the blue collar, and you have that in there. The school district, the crime rate is all of those rating, as you say. Then when it comes to D, then you are getting the higher crime rate. The schools are not the best and all of that. And that is where you have more of those Section 8, right? Properties, okay? Because Section 8 is basically people for the government paid on behalf, like food stamp, right? For food. You now have for housing. Government is paying for people for the housing. And most of the time, if they're not the one paying for it, they probably don't take care of the property. And for me, my property is way, 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 way more expensive than even the rents that I'm getting, right? So, but Section 8 for the people that work for, but it's not one of the strategy that I use. The closet I've had was because I also wanted to help all those, domestic violence, people that have gone through domestic violence, and I worked directly with the organization and they rented their house. That's the best that I did, but not the government one. Yeah, not the yeah, because then the other part of it is that most of the time in the D neighborhood, the appreciation of the property is not as far. Remember, I said double the value, right, in 10 years. When it comes to like the D neighborhood, remember, it's almost going downhill. No HOA, crime, whatever. People are always trying to get out of the place, almost like the ghetto, right? So the thing about it, what you realize is that their property value are not going as fast as and will not be going does not grow as fast as the ABC neighborhood, right? So that's it right there. So the YouTube right there, I actually release videos, long form videos every Sunday, okay? Then short form videos every single day, right? On YouTube. So consider subscribing. You really do not have any there's no reason. Motto, Treasure Vault, Kadia, and check if you're having issues. Let me know in this life if you cannot find it. It's Money Talk with Dr. Lina. Doctor is DR, not DOCTOR. Okay, Dr. Lina, and the Lina is LINA. Just the same way that you have it right up here. Just the same way. That's it. Money Talk with Dr. Lina. And the same thing everywhere. On Instagram too, I am Money Talk with Dr. Lina. So you also want to go see my video that it's right now, it's at 1.4 million views. 1.4 million views, and it simply talks about you trading your time for money. You want to go see, it has over going 5,000 comments, right, that I've also been responding to, because I just want to see the view of average people. What are people going through? Because it's just talking about trading time for money, right? So you want to see that as well. So the other part of it that I also wanted to just to back on our class as we wrap up, okay, is ETF, real estate. Which one? If I have to advise you, right, I would say start with you. There's no point choosing and picking. Diversify your risk, okay? Diversify. You're in real estate, playing in real estate, you're playing in ETF. But you have to think about it as, it's not more of which one should you pick. It's more of the sequence. Which one should you start with? Okay? And that's how you build wealth. So you are going to be doing it in the right order. So the first thing is you start with the ETF to actually build your foundation. You're going to get your discipline. You're going to be consistent. All of those things that comes with You are going to start with that. Then the other thing, it helps you consistency. Then you are building the capital. Remember, when you want to buy real estate, the deposit is one huge amount. You, instead of you leaving the money in the account every single month, you are putting it into ETFs. It's growing every single month that you have it right there. Then you can, but guess what? Then you move the money. Once you get to your deposit, your down payment, you move it to real estate. Then you repeat the same thing again. Do it for the second, do it for the third, just like that. That is how you build wealth. ETF builds the foundation. Okay, ETFs help you build foundation. Real estate helps you to accelerate wealth. That is the difference between the two. And just in terms of flow, you have income, right? This is how the wealth is actually built. It starts with your income. So do not despise the days of your beginning, doing your 9 to 5. Never despise your 9 to 5, because it's your foundation of wealth, right? It's what you do with it that really matters. Okay, your income, it starts with your income. Your income, you take some of it and you invest in it, ETFs. Then ETF will build the capital that you need to buy, to acquire real estate. And when you have that, once you have real estate, you will get cash flow every single month. Okay, and then you reinvest it, do it again, and buy another property, just like that. While you're still getting your income, flowing it, now you're going to have the second property. If you do it the first time, the second property is now going to be your income plus the cash flow from the initial property. And then from there, that's how you get your freedom. That's how you get your freedom, the way you replace your income. You replace your income with what? You replace it with your cash flow. Cash flow is now the one. That's what it means by letting your money work harder than you do. Maybe you would have heard that terms. Your money is working harder than you do. Or some people would ask me, so Dr. Lina, what is 5 to 9? Right? Because I would say your 9 to 5, right? Let it fund your 6 to 8, or your 5 to 9 a.m., 5 to 9 p.m. to 5 to 9 a.m. That's what it simply means, right? Because your money is working 24 hours. It's working. That's what it simply means by that time. And that's how you get financial freedom. Retirement is it's not a number. Even though the society puts it at 65 or 60 or 59 and a half, retirement is when you can actually replace your income with something that can actually fund that lifestyle. That's retirement right there. It doesn't have to be, if you find it at 40, congratulations to you. We have people that found it at 30. Jumokemi found it in her 30s. People, it is just a function of that. And you really do not have to quit. You can just decide to say that you have financial peace. You are working because you want to work, not because you have to work to pay bills. This is absolutely two different things. But guess what? 90% or how many percentage of, I don't know the numbers, I'm just throwing numbers. They are working to pay bills, not because they want to just work. Okay? If you ask anybody here, how many of us are working that job tomorrow? You are waking up just because you like that job. I bet that I can tell you that nobody wants that. Nobody will say, oh, I'm doing it. Some people are doing it because I got bills to pay on the first, rent is coming due, children are going to eat. I have to pay my car notes. I have credit card to pay. That's why they're doing that work, not because they just enjoy that job. Okay? So really, you don't have to pick one. You just build a system. If I had to start over today, I wouldn't choose between ETF and real estate. I would use ETF to build capital and real estate to build income. And that's how wealth is accelerated. Okay? If you find this helpful and you will be trying this, put wealth in the comment section. Put wealth in the comment section. And which one do you think builds wealth faster, real estate or ETF? Which one builds wealth faster? If you're going to be trying it, put wealth in the comment. And if you think that which one builds wealth faster, if you got the answer and let me know. Put the answer 1 or 2. Real estate being 2, ETF being 1. Which one do you think builds wealth faster? Which one? All right, which one builds wealth faster? And thank you all for tapping out the live. Motto and Treasure Vault and AAA. Which one builds wealth faster? Which one do you think builds wealth? One being ETF, the other being 2 being real estate. Which one builds wealth faster? Yeah, Bella Mirais. Yes, you should subscribe. You should subscribe. You should subscribe. Everyone should subscribe. Everyone should follow. Everyone should like. Mama Faith, welcome here. We are wrapping up. We talked about ETF and real estate. I'll be wrapping up in another. If you have any question, now is your time. Just ask any question you may have. Any question you may have, this is your time. Any question you may have, this is your time, okay? And put in the comment 1 or 2. Real estate, which one builds wealth faster? Real estate or 1 being ETF, Motto, Treasure Vault, 1 or 2. Which one do you think builds wealth faster? Real estate or ETF? Which one? Which one? Which one? And Bella as well. Which one do you think builds wealth faster? Bella Rice. Which one? 2. Awesome. Mama Faith said 2. That's amazing. Great, 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 great. Any other person? Any other person? Any other person as I wrap up the live? And I really appreciate you hanging out with me tonight. Because I cannot be talking to myself. It won't be fun, right? Talking to myself tonight, even though I have so much knowledge I shared, and it's value adding to you, but it's a blessing having everyone, because for me, my goal is to bless as many people as possible that comes my way, right? That's my why for even being here. Okay. So awesome. I hope you learned 1 or 2 things. Did you learn 1 or 2 things? Okay. Did you learn 1 or 2 things? Let's keep tapping out the life if we can. If you can get it to 10,000, that would be great. If you can't, that's okay. So okay, Motola, can we tap? If you can keep tapping to 10,000, that would be great. But if you cannot, that's also okay. Let's keep. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mama Faith. Thank you so much. If you can keep tapping it, it doesn't just cost us a finger. And let me know if you have any question. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. And think about subscribing to my YouTube channel as well. And be on the lookout for the training, this free training that I talked about for real estate. It's not going to be a joke. So if my life is like this and you just teaching on the surface, now think about us in a class where we are actually analyzing deals, because I'll be showing you some of the properties, what you should be looking at. I'll actually also be showing some of my, the deals, what numbers went into it, all of those kind of things are things that we'll be talking about in the, in this training, and how you can get started. One thing reason why I always say go to the YouTube to go look at watch the videos is you would learn things about the 1% rule, what is ARV, what is rentometer, tools that you can use, and you can start trying it out. Redfin, Zillow, all of where should you buy, who is an wholesaler, all of those things are things. You remember, just what, like I said, a video right there that can help you buy your real estate in 90 days, 30 days, because remember, it's a process. It's not like ETF. It is a process. It's ETF. You can just simply open an account and you start buying tomorrow, fund it, and that's it, right? But when it comes to real estate, it is much more than that. Real estate, you have to have, you have your credit. You need to have your what's it called? You have your credit. You need to get education because you want to understand the deal, right? The other thing that you also want to do is you're getting education, and of course the down payment. So those are things that is required when it comes to real estate, right? Those are the things that are required when it comes to real estate. So yeah, so that's really the thing. So but you can start yourself on a good note, okay, by just go there, subscribe, and see the videos there. And I'll also be putting a video out when it's time for us to actually start up with the for the training, so you don't miss out on that. just so I can explain in a long form video as well. So just consider subscribing, and let's keep tapping out the live. Let's keep tapping out the live. Motto. Okay, great, 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 awesome, awesome. And I can wrap up the live right now. That's 9:45. Okay, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. Let me go and start attending to my 1.4 million comments right now. And as well, hey, Dr. Sharon, how are you? Welcome. How are you doing? So Dr. Sharon is part of my one of the community I belong to. So that's amazing. Mama Faith, thank you so much for all of the likes. Really, really, really appreciate that. That is absolutely, absolutely beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. Great, 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 great. User 272. How are you? We're just wrapping up the live. We talked about ETF versus real estate. So if you missed it, I'm here 12 Central, between 12 or 12:30 Central Time. I try to be here to help as many people as possible. And if there's any question you have on ETF real estate, just go on my YouTube channel. It's Money Talk with Dr. Lina. And you would see long form videos that I have there that would help you get started. And then you can catch me on live one of these days, and you can definitely learn. If you have any specific question, maybe it's not addressed in the video, you can always get that in the you can definitely get that learned. We can definitely talk about it, but at least it will get you get started. If you are still here and on the YouTube side, consider subscribing if you haven't. If you haven't, consider subscribing. Great, great. And be on the lookout for the three things that are coming. Is the real estate academy, okay? There's the $1 million league community that is also coming, okay? And there is also going to be the $1 million academy or wealth building academy. And all those three are on the way, okay? As much as possible, education, education, education. That's just the way. Education, education, education. Once you get knowledge is power. Knowledge is definitely power. All right. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. Really, really appreciate your time. And as I really enjoyed my time with you all. And well, I'll see you all later. Have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your night. Stay blessed. And I love you. And ensure that your money is working harder than you do. Awesome. And my friend in the YouTube side, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. If you haven't subscribed, consider doing that. Do that immediately so that you can you learn one or two things when it comes to wealth building. But really appreciate you hanging out with me tonight. Subscribe to the channel. I'm here either 12 Central Time in the afternoon or 9 p.m. around this time. That's when you catch me, but mostly in the afternoon. So if you missed out on this part and you're just seeing me, I'm Dr. Lina, and you can definitely subscribe to learn some other things. I know that you're going to learn a lot of things that I can assure you of. All right. Well, thank you so much. And I'll see you later. Have a beautiful one. Subscribe if you haven't. Subscribe. Thank you really so much for hanging out with me tonight. And I hope you learn one or two things about real estate, ETF, and in general investing, what you should do with your money, which is to put some of it towards appreciating cash flowing asset, not on liabilities, not depreciating lifestyle liabilities. Okay, that's how you build wealth. Okay, I love you all, and let your money be working harder than you do. And I'll see you later. Have a blessed night.